So how you configure and test that your protection is actually working. I have disabled this and force an update, as I show in the second part of this video. But the way, and you'll see why in a second, but the way you update this is you go, or you configure this, is you go into GeoIP and you go to the country that you are interested in. Now the problem is that, let's say that I want to block a country of any decent sized country, Brazil, Germany, Ukraine, Russia, China, whatever. Yeah, the problem is that the IP, the aliases will contain a humongous amount of IP addresses from there. And then how are you going to find an IP that matches the URL for you to test from a browser or to do pings and to test the traffic? It's going to be pretty hard. So that's what I chose, a country very small. So if I go here to the Africa listing on GeoIP, notice that I selected Mauritius, and I actually put Mauritania just for the sake of it. But the idea, and then what I did is I Google and I found what are the sites for the country of Mauritius and how did I test it up. So what I did is I started by going into my Firefox and created a new private window to make sure I have no cache in there, and I went to Gov, and you see how lovely this country and the people in there seems to be, but this is just for the purpose of testing. Once I set this up, I'm going to delete that, and when I click on it, obviously there's a big distance between this place and that one, but as you see, I can access that the website of the government of that country. I really feel like going there, man. So beautiful country, and again, nothing to do. This is not a bad country, but this is just as an example, being small enough for me to test it. And what I did is I then ping this URL, govmu.org, and I got the IP address for it. And then I look into the aliases table, and I found that because it's not big, doesn't have that many IPs, I was able to make sure that that is within the IPs that are referred to this country. So if I were to block this country, I can use it for testing. So now that this is that I have selected that, let me actually enable PF blocker ng, make it save, and do the update. I'm going to pause the video until I do that to keep it short. Now that the force update is completed, if I go here and do file, new private window, and I try to go to the same site, govmu.org, I get denied. I'll get a failure. One thing I should have mentioned is that notice that when I run the update, there were sessions with that page, and that's the IP address of the lovely country of Mauritius country island, and it kills those all those sessions in there, right? So that page is not loading, and actually let me look at the logs and see if I can see the denieds on the logs from pfSense. And you know that you can send those logs to QRadar if need be, if you want to. In fact, it's just timeout. Let's go back to pfSense and look at the logs. So we go to stat2 system logs, and then in here click on firewall and look at all the things that are already denied. In fact, if we search for the IP of that government site, we find it here as one of the things that were actually blocked. So the stuff actually works nice. Now I can go back to my PF blocker in GeoIP, go to Africa, and take out this restriction for these countries. This lovely Mauritius, I learned about it. So nice people, nice beaches. And now what I'll do, well, make sure that you save every time you do this. And notice that in my actions, I selected deny both. The default is deny inbound. I'm, want no business with the countries I want to block, so I deny them both. So now all the countries in Africa are enabled, and I click save. Remember that you will need to do the force update for this to actually work back again. Now you will decide which countries you don't want to do business with, and you can configure them in that way. Remember all the considerations that we did on performance and all the other things in the first part of this video. And also, when you make a change, make sure that you wait until the whole thing finishes. Give it a minute or two to make sure that everything is ready to load, and then continue with the test. Good luck, and I hope that this will help you and your loved ones to run in a little bit more secure environment, given all the situation. One thing that we learned from the pandemic is how important the internet is, but we all know, if you're watching this video, you know how insecure that is because of the way it was actually designed. If all the vulnerabilities that exist in it, particularly if you put Windows desktops into the mix, then that equation becomes larger. So these are some things that you can actually do to increase the security at the place that now most of us are working more and more from.